So hi there, welcome back. Guess I'm a little overdue for a new vlog. So here we go. It's the Thanksgiving long weekend. So it's a good time. I got some extra free time to do this. Life's actually been pretty busy for me in the last little while, believe it or not, even amidst all of the COVID stuff. My day job working in auto insurance has kept me quite busy since the summer. I did slow down for the beginning of the pandemic, but then of course we had hailstorms, a lot of animal hits, deer hits out on the highways, and of course theft recoveries. The crime's going up in certain areas, especially in northern Alberta. So I've been kind of busy with the day job. So I've had that going on in the last while. So and amidst that, some stuff in my life. I bought a new vehicle. Finally bought a new truck. It's been a long time since I owned a truck, and it was time again. And I ended up doing a bit of research, doing a couple of test drives, and it came down. I ended up buying a brand new Toyota Tacoma. So it's an awesome truck. It was between that and a Ford Ranger. Test drove both, but in the end, it was the durability, the dependability, resale value that was involved in Toyota. And I had owned a Toyota in the early 2000s. I actually had owned a Corolla, an 85 Corolla GTS, and that was a great car being a Toyota. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go through another Toyota. So I got that. And as well, we've got a new furry child in our family now. We have a new kitten, Theo. So we picked him up there. Was it in July? So, we've had to train the little guy, and, he takes up a little bit of time. He can be a handful, as kittens are, but he's a big joy too to have around. It's really uplifting to have the little furry companion around now. So I've been kind of busy with that stuff. So, but music wise, on a positive note now, finally played a gig. First gig in 7 months with Siren, and we went back to Edmonton. It was actually the last place we played before the pandemic hit at the end of February. And of course everything kind of went to hell, halfway through March. Everything kind of got put on hold. We had festivals to play, gigs to do over the summer. Everything got canceled. So it's nice that we finally, there's still some restrictions, AHS and whatnot here in Alberta, and I finally got a chance to play again. So we played that last weekend up in Edmonton at Shakers. And it was really good by getting back on stage. But of course, things are different now. They're testing the waters on how we can have live performances again. And the crowd wasn't allowed to stand up in front of the stage. So everybody was kind of seated at a table. And of course, they can't have as much capacity as they used to have. And there was a plexiglass in front of the stage. And the odd thing with that, especially with the lights shining on, and of course, I'm looking at my own reflection while I'm playing. So that was kind of strange in itself. So, but either way, it was great to get back on stage. Unfortunately, butchered a couple of my own guitar solos just because it'd been so long. And even with Siren, we went a few months without even rehearsing, without even seeing each other. So it was great to hang out with the crew again. We've been rehearsing. We've actually been writing some new material. We even played one new song last weekend. So it's great to kind of get the ball rolling again. But I am a little worried. Seems to be like a second wave is hitting us now. I was actually just talking with my mother, and who's in Windsor, Ontario, and they've actually shut down some of the restaurants now and some gyms and whatnot. So we'll see what happens in the next while. Here in Calgary, things are still where they are. My gym's open, which has been really great. I've been kind of, in the last little while, I've actually been concentrating on my health. So I've actually been going to the gym, making some better lifestyle changes. And I had said in one of my past videos that I'd gained some weight. And of course, I've now got some goals. I've set myself some goals for next spring, certain weight I want to hit, being more physical in shape like I was, 10 years ago. I used to be a real gym buff back in the day. So I thought, I kind of want to get healthy again. Kind of been doing some yoga again in my life. I used to do yoga. I'm back into yoga, kind of cutting down on things like sugar and coffee and alcohol. I barely drink at all anymore. So, but just making better lifestyle changes, amidst everything going on, and just trying to take care of myself. These are strange times with COVID. So you really got to kind of look after your health. And try to stay positive, right? I know it's been hard on a lot of people, even myself. I've dealt with a little bit of depression, but it's been hard. And trying to stay positive, trying to look forward to things. That's why I've kind of set myself some goals and things I kind of want to attain in the future. You know, I got myself a new truck. That's kind of nice, right? Thankfully, I have a good job. I make decent money, so that I work from home. That's the only thing that changed because of the whole COVID time. But I'm very thankful this Thanksgiving weekend for what I do have in my life, especially the health that I do have, and I do want to improve upon it. So that's why it's great to kind of look forward to things, make some goals, some plans ahead. So as well, even with Siren being my main priority musically, I've kind of had to put to bed a couple of other projects I kind of had on the go just because I've been so busy. And just for myself personally, I'm really trying to focus on my playing, my abilities, try and improve on some of my techniques, especially sweep picking, for example. I've actually been doing a lot of practicing on my own here in my music room. And with the coming winter, I'm actually planning on spending a lot of time in here. I really want to improve on things. I do plan on a solo album. I've had a couple of people send me messages lately asking me what's happening with my own music stuff, my own solo stuff, and I am planning a concept solo album. It's something I've had in my mind for a very long time, actually since my father had passed away back in '96. He actually had passed away tragically. And I kind of, right after that happened, I'd always said in my mind I wanted to have an album sort of based on his story, but kind of do it in a cool way, and not be so, negative about it, and kind of be cool and uplifting, as much as I can. So I'm kind of been planning that. And with doing that, I've kind of revisited some of the music I had written before, and I had actually stumbled upon some music I had written when I had a 7-string guitar a few years ago. So I was like, oh, you know what? I think maybe I might need to get a 7-string again. So I actually did. So I sold my Jackson Mexican Dinky recently, plus some pedals and some odd ends to be able to afford to get this guy here. So I picked up Jackson, this guy here. It's a professional soloist SL7. So that's kind of been what I've been working on, is revisiting some 7-string stuff. And I think probably my concept solo album will be based on that kind of music. I've actually been listening to a lot of Nevermore. I've actually gotten really deep into the Nevermore catalog, listening to Dream Theater, even Fear Factory, Korn. I've been listening to a lot of that kind of heavy, low tune stuff. And for a bit, I was kind of tuning one of my guitars down to drop C. But with that, I had decided, you know what, I might as well just go to 7-string. So that's kind of what I did. And kind of writing my new music along those lines. So a little bit, not exactly progressive, but definitely heavy. So I probably won't finish it till next year, kind of taking my time at it, because Siren is my main priority. We're still writing some music. Not sure what we're going to write. We are going to probably do another album here in the next while. We're kind of writing tunes. We've got 3 songs towards the next album and pieces of other songs. So you can expect that in the near future. So, but besides that, big news in the world was Eddie Van Halen died. And Eddie Van Halen was a big inspiration and a guitar god to a lot of people. Not the biggest guitar god to myself. As I look at it as the late 70s, early 80s, the 2 real metal gods, guitar gods at that time, were actually Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen. I actually worshipped more of Randy Rhoads. But those 2 were the innovators of shred guitar, lead guitar playing. But of course, Randy, passed away quite tragically. I think he was 24 years old back in '82 during that plane crash. But, and of course, Eddie Van Halen lived to be 65, had a really great long career. But when I look back at Eddie Van Halen, not only does his playing make such an impact on people, especially when Eruption came out, that in itself, the finger tapping, the speed, and Eddie's sense of songwriting abilities was such a big part of Van Halen and part of guitar playing. And that he also was a big innovator in the guitar itself because everybody knows about the Frankenstein guitar, and that was his experimenting with guitars, in that he liked the fullness sound of a Les Paul with a humbucker, but he liked the playability and the feel of a Stratocaster, and he had actually taken a humbucker and installed it in his Stratocaster, and that kind of started the whole Frankenstein thing. And he kind of started the whole humbucker in a Strat style guitar, the super Strat, more or less. And I can definitely relate to that. That's kind of the tone and sound I like too, with my Jacksons and some of my other guitars. But anyway, so Eddie Van Halen was a big influence to a lot of people, and definitely his death is felt all over the world. The amount of posts I've seen have just been incredible, and everybody loved him. And I always think of the story of when Dimebag Darrell, who is probably my biggest guitar god, had died and passed away. And during his memorial, Eddie Van Halen actually put the original yellow and black striped guitar in his coffin. And that in itself, and I think I saw the story of it where not just like a copy of the original, he put the actual original guitar from the first Van Halen album, I think it was the first Van Halen album, in that when Dimebag Darrell went into the ground. So that is just incredible in itself. He definitely appreciated Dimebag, and of course Eddie Van Halen was Dimebag Darrell's like biggest hero. So it's sad, but what a legacy Eddie Van Halen left behind, right? And even myself, I own an Eddie Van Halen guitar, an EVH brand guitar, and I've played some Van Halen in my past, right? Bar bands and whatnot, and it affected me a little bit too. But at the same time, I just think of the legacy he left behind, and I hope to kind of like leave the same kind of legacy myself. So I definitely think about that. And of course, my guitar gods now, my heroes, Marty Friedman, Alex Skolnick, John Petrucci, Jeff Loomis. Those are my guys that are still around and they're still playing music. And just like myself, I'm going to keep playing music as long as I can. So of course, that's pretty much what's been happening with me. Still keeping busy musically, but as well, I'm kind of really working on my health over the next little while. So I don't really plan on putting out a solo album until next year. Definitely going to work on my chops, get up some stuff, write some more music. And of course, Siren, we're playing a gig coming up in a couple of weeks in Lethbridge at our favorite place there, The Slice. Looking forward to that. And then, we'll see what happens. So I don't know what I'll do for our next video. It'll probably be a while. I'm kind of been staying, minimizing how much I'm on social media now. Just of course, when I'm here practicing in my music room, I kind of turn my phone off. Don't want to be disturbed. Want to totally focus on what I'm doing with my guitar practicing. So I'm going to keep that up. So things will be quiet for the next while, but I'll still be shredding. And please, everybody, just shred on. Keep it up.